So, something interesting that I have to show off today. This is Slugoborus by Yogurt the Horse. And it is a game that has been made in 96 hours for the GMTK Game Jam. So it's a Game Jam game, so bear that in mind. But it's been made for 96 hours using Unity. And I have noticed some absolutely incredible games come out in that timeline. So it's a really good timeline to really make, it's that good balance between focus and production. Some fantastic stuff comes out of whenever I've seen that number, 96 hours. So as you can see, it's 4 days from July to August, the beginning of August. And it's for a game jam. And I also like this idea that they've got like sort of artwork telling you about the game, and then the mouse over is where the text comes in. Although, as I've said before, please don't focus on putting too much information in your itch.io page. That information should be in the game. We'll have a look at the gameplay and the game design in a moment. But there's your credits. There's a little bit of more information. Apparently sometimes the leaderboard time is negative. That's a known bug. Yeah, it's a game jam game. There's always going to be known bugs. And there's always going to be the stuff I look for missing, because that's how short-term game design and game development works. You always have to make sacrifices, some things for others. But we'll point them out, and maybe another version of this game will come out, and it'll continue to get better. That is the hope, that is the dream. So let's have a look at the gameplay, and then we will have a little bit of critique. So it's Unity, and it's best to play at full screen. I don't believe there's a downloadable version yet, but I'm sure there will be. This is us. This is us. This is the little slug character. This is who we are. We move using the mouse, so we move towards the mouse cursor. We can press M to get the keys, but I don't. I move towards the mouse cursor. There is also left click for a dash button, which zooms us forward. What this over here means, I thought it just means don't loop too tightly, but what it actually means is bits of us come off. We lose bits of us, and we have to loop around to pick them up again. So we kind of regain our length and our size, because the smaller we are, the easier it is for the various dangers to kill us. And what this bit is saying is that the bits that we drop off do explode after a moment, so we have to either pick them up quickly or avoid them, because otherwise they hurt and they damage us. And the main way we grow is to eat these little Among Us type of dudes, as you can see at the top here. So it's the moment we eat them, we're going to start the countdown, start the timer, and things will happen. I've only just noticed that there is a volume control over here, but I think it's just for all volumes. It's a master control. It's not, there's no separation between music and game sounds, which I think is very important as a quality of control to make players happy. But that's critique, and we got up there. Let's get started. So we eat this. These plants start appearing, and they explode and damage us. And as you can see at the top, bits of me have started coming off, and we can loop around and we can sort of eat our bits, but they do start exploding and potentially hurt us. And there's also sort of pools of poison. I'm assuming they're like anti-slug elements in whatever game world we're in, that is being sort of dumped on us. Yes. And we're teeny tiny now, so we're in a lot of danger. And I went too close to the plant. But in essence, that is the gameplay. This is me. There's various times here. Some people have lost it for like 44 minutes. It's insane. There's no way to look at the rest of the leaderboard, and I don't know why they are not in order. Very odd. Anyway, so that is the game. We just click here to continue. I'm not going to start it again. I'm going to say that is all I'm showing in terms of the gameplay at the moment. I think it's pretty obvious what is going on there. So if you're just here for the gameplay, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I really hope to see you in the next video. If, however, you are here for the critique, well, there's a lot to say about this game. By far, the most of it is good stuff. I mean, first of all, let's talk about the art. Look at it. Look how beautiful this is. I mean, if you dash, look at how the body changes, and that shift goes down the length of the body. I mean, it is amazing. I cannot be more impressed by the kind of dev work and artwork that has been done here. This is very, very pretty. Um, the sounds, are fine. Yeah, that's just a master control for all of the sounds, which is pity. I would love to hear better in-game sounds, some nice bass gluttonous noises, a better sound when you sort of eat the main characters. It's just a little squeak. Like, what is? Oh, where's your deep bassy punchy noises? Where's those kind of things? Let's just see if we can get ourselves killed here. All right. I mean, the pops and things, they're fine. They're okay noises, but they're not fantastic. So yeah, sort of bassier, punchier, chunkier noises would be nice. Something with a bit more depth and a little bit more solidity behind it. I always feel that games don't do that kind of thing enough, and that's how to really make your games happy. To really drive that endorphin release in game players. I think that's really, really important. So I mean that's the sound critique really. The music is fine. It's very nice. It's very cool. Just the right kind of energy to kind of match the game theme. But the base game sounds need to be better, and there need to be two different sound controls for music and for game sound, so we can hear the game. The kind of the UI. I mean, I like this starting element over here. I think this is a good way to sort of tell you how the game works. I'm assuming we're supposed to have come out of that drain to eat these guys. Are we a giant slug? Maybe that's what's going on. There's some interesting questions about the lore here, which we don't really have. All we know is we are a slug that can move in circles. This is one of those games that focuses more on the gameplay mechanisms than the storyline behind it, which is fine. It would be nice to get some story here, to expand the game world out to make a bigger game with actual storyline and progression behind it. Like I said, this is obviously a game jam game, and that is the nature of the game jam game. We can go and hide behind the border here. This is interesting. I did say somebody talking about border camping on the comments, and I guess that's what he was talking about. You can probably stay out of danger there, although the thing where you lose the bits of yourself might kill you off if you stay behind the border too long. Interesting. Anyway, so so we've spoken about the sounds, we've spoken about the art, we were talking about the UI and the introduction. I mean, this is fun. This bit I didn't really understand. I didn't get that you had to pick your own bits up until it was actually happening in the game, and it took me a while to realize what was going on there. So I don't know how one would do it, but this maybe needs to be expanded out a little bit. And then some in-game options, I think hide things behind a little menu that would pop down. Tell us more about the game, tell us the controls, that kind of stuff in-game menu items. And a bit more lore and things like that probably would be nice. That's what I would probably focus on for the next version of this game. I really hope they continue to dev this game. I think it's fantastic. I think you do handle okay in learning how to play it from this bits of information. I just think it could be smoothed out a bit better. As I've said before in other videos, don't forget that people who come to play these indie games are absolute potentially beginners, because a sort of a web-based indie game is a very easy way to get somebody who doesn't really play a lot of games, and you can send them the link and say, here's a fun game, play this is what I'm talking about when I play a lot of games, this is why. So that introduction to gameplay it needs to be good, it needs to be effective, it needs to be powerful. So as a game dev, maybe remember, like an indie game dev, remember that this might be people's introductions to gaming. It's not like a sort of a mainstream game where people will probably not try and pick it up because it's too much of a gamer thing. But these little indie games are an easy first step in, that first taste that hopefully gets more people addicted to gaming. I mean, those are the mechanics critiques. The only thing I really have to talk about left is kind of the gameplay, which is obviously quite excellent. I think maybe the game gets a little bit too busy, a little bit too quickly. I'm still learning how to move the slug around, and suddenly there's exploding flowers and lasers across the page and all of that kind of stuff. So I think maybe zoom out a little bit, give us a slightly bigger sort of map area, and a few less things happening at first, and some kind of indicator as you climb stages of threats. That would be my personal feeling on how this would be a slightly more comfortable game to play. It's still absolutely fine the way it is, but I feel it does need to be balanced out and smoothed out a little bit more. I don't really care about leaderboards or anything like that. I think it would be nice to have a slightly slower, slightly more chilled experience, at least in the beginning for the game. I think it gets too intense and too complex too quickly. Maybe don't start with the flowers. Maybe just start with just the slug moving around, eating the guys, trying to survive, picking up the dots, and then like 30 seconds in, then bring in the first flower. And then 30 seconds after that, bring in the poisons, and then so like a longer gap. I think it's quicker than, because like the flowers you get immediately. And I think it would be nice to learn how to pick up the bits before we're having to worry about the flowers. Why are they this immediate threat? Okay, it does take a fair while before the poisons come in, I see. But at the point where these start happening should be where the flowers start happening, and then the poisons equivalently, like where the lasers first come in. That's only when you should start seeing the poisons. So yeah, slow down the progression a bit more. Forget about the leaderboard. Nobody really cares, I don't think. Or people who do care, that's fine. They'll adjust to the new timing. The times will get a bit longer. Is my feelings on the matter, my somewhat unsupported opinion. So take it for the pinch of salt. I'm messing up that particular morphism. Right, so that's it. That's all I have to say about this game. Other than please come and play it, because it is actually really, really good, and I want to see it supported and become a bigger game. Devs, please stick some more lore in there, a few more quality of life controls, and slow down the progression a little bit. Those are my critiques in a nutshell. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. So, goodbye.